So, Orbital Shipyard going to be kind of an interesting map here with that in-base natural, of course, and just a easy accessible third. And there's just a lot of airspace on the map as well, so I'm going to be interested to see what kind of strategies are going to come out here from either player. I suspect muted, but I don't know, man, we could see an anti-timing with Rich Ling aggression.
Absolutely. I mean, these maps, any of them, in fact, thus far in the games that we've casted for ZVZ have been really quite violent and quick. There hasn't really been much of a macro game between any of these players throughout the tournament, throughout the qualifiers. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what these guys have got planned for each other now that the money is on the line. So let's hop into it on map number 1 here, guys. And in the bottom left, this is the pink Zerg. He is EnDerr.
And spawning in the top right, he's a yellow Zerg rocking the tag ImEmperor, but he is also known as TMK.
Bit of a countryman kill here, as both of these guys are from the Philippines. So a little bit of a shame, but we'll see who comes out on top. Emperor had a great showing in his group, came out second behind Blisk, who went 4-0, so can't be feeling too bad about that. EnDerr, on the other hand, did top his group last week as well with a 4-0, so both these guys pulling some great results earlier on in the tournament.
Yeah, of course, and getting off an early drone scout here, seeing the pool timing. He doesn't see one at all just yet here from TMK, and I think we might see, because we saw last time EnDerr plays ZVZ doing a drone scout like this, he went 3 hatch before pool.
Yeah, that's true. He was very big fan of that 3 hatch before pool strategy, actually. Like, every single game without fail, and it looks like he's going to be doing it again here on this map. He really isn't afraid of anything when he does this build. He's obviously practiced it a ton, and a lot of people don't seem to know how to deal with it yet. They're just kind of like, gosh, how do I actually punish his greed here? Like, aggression hasn't managed to do it. Playing a macro game doesn't seem too wise when your opponent's already got 3 bases, so we'll see what Emperor comes up with to try and combat this.
Yeah, and he's coming across the map now with his own drone scout to see what's going on, and he's going to come in and see the gas and the build time, and he goes like, whoa, those are a bit later than usual, and he sees the hatchery down the natural they're taking, so he's probably going to have a bit of a spot out, and he will scout out this very, very quick third base here from EnDerr.
That's it, and he's going to get confirmation for that, head home, and probably start to think about what his plan is going to be. I mean, I guess he could react by trying to take a third hatchery himself. What we've seen most people do is go into a bit of aggression or kind of play it like Hearts, just kind of like normal 2-base setup, get some roaches or go into muter and see where it goes from there. But no one's been successful thus far. But considering how many games were played on stream last time, I'm feeling like these guys would have had an opportunity to actually have a look at EnDerr's playstyle here and go, right, where are the holes? How do I actually kill this? Because none of us could do it.
I don't know, like, just letting someone getting away with this 3 hatch is so devastating for yourself. I mean, like, just the way it works out here for EnDerr, if he spots your hatch first, man, he's gonna go for it, and it's so hard to beat. But we can see a plan coming out here from TMK already, throwing down a quick baneling nest here after his Ling speed, and this is definitely a timing that can catch EnDerr off guard.
Yeah, the Ling Bane aggression seems to be the flavor of the day for ZVZ in this tournament throughout its duration, so we'll see if he continues that trend here. It certainly looks like he's going to at least poke across the map with a few units, but he actually drops a Roach Warren as well.
Yeah, Roach Baneling is also a pretty popular timing still here in Legacy of the Void, and especially with the amount of units that EnDerr's going to have out on the map early on here. I mean, he's got himself a bunch of queens and stuff, but man, the Roaches and their Banelings.
Yeah, I mean, the real advantage for EnDerr here is going to be that drone count. He's already 6 ahead, his macro on point here, so he just needs to make sure he has good defensive positioning, because he's not only got to protect that one ramp, which queens and lings can block quite easily, but he's got that big wide open ramp to his third base, and that's quite a worry when you've got lings and banes flying at you, plus maybe a roach follow-up as well. So we'll see where Emperor goes with that roach warren after this, if he's just looking for a bit of pressure with the Ling Bane into the roach after, or if he's going to be doing a follow-up attack.
Looking at EnDerr here, I think he wants the one that wants to turn a bit aggressive here. He churned out a bunch of lings here, and he's going to start waddling across the map with those banelings and a round of 12 lings to follow that up. And behind this, going for a roach warren and just heavily droning. This could be like a little bit of a time here to catch Emperor off guard, maybe get a little bit of economic damage done, and just keep him on his toes, force more units out of TMK here.
He's actually catching him in a really great moment, because this is right when he's trying to churn out some roaches, but he's going to have to hold on with that.
Oh.
Ooh, gets a couple of banelings lost there, and there's still one left for EnDerr. He's going to target down that queen, using that baneling to zone those lings out for the moment.
Oh, that was a great connection. Going into that mineral line, trying to find what damage he can done. He's going to try and avoid the roaches like the plague and just get a bit of a scout off here with his remaining lings. And that was really good there by EnDerr. Look how many units he's forced out. And behind this, EnDerr is just taking up, sending a few more units across the map. But he's getting pretty close to being quite set with his drone count. He's getting very high.
I mean, with that last round of 10 drones popping out, and put himself 10 whole drones ahead. Now he's got to think about the defense, because there's a lot of roaches coming out here. He's still going to be able to get some damage done with these last few lings, so he does buy himself a little bit of time. He can always use those to backstab, but his own roach warren has come up, so I feel like by the time TMK comes across the map, EnDerr might have a pretty good roach defense of his own.
Yeah, EnDerr starting his +1 attack here before Team K, I believe, even has himself an evolution chamber. Later about to finish up for him as well, so his roach speed been halfway done behind TMK, but I don't know, man, like, EnDerr's macro is on point so far.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is actually one of the longest CVZs we've seen thus far. I mean, we've gotten to a point where both players have 3 bases, and it looks like TMK now is ready to head out with a bunch of roaches, a few lings and banes in tow as well. Getting a bit of a scout off on the army of EnDerr. He's gonna be pretty alright feeling, having a look at that, going, yeah, I have a fair chunk more units than that. But of course, he does have to take into consideration the reinforcements that will be coming out from EnDerr much quicker than those of TMK can get there.
Oh, Ling run by sneaking in here from EnDerr, and this can get some serious damage done here as TMK is focusing on attack on the other side of the map. That EnDerr can defend. He's got the advantage. He's got 14 roaches in production. He held that off, and now the Lings are going to start running rampant here for EnDerr in the main, killing off queens where they can and falling TMK all the way back home to defend.
Yeah, the reinforcements popping out just in the nick of time to clean those up, but losing a queen when you're trying to do a roach push, really not optimal. Team K is actually down to just the 1 queen, whereas EnDerr, he has 4. He's got a macro hatch just finished up, and his +1 attack plus roach speed is about to finish up here, whereas Emperor, Team K I should say, he doesn't have any upgrades to speak of just yet. He's actually going to try and sneak into mutas.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a tough transition for him. I mean, EnDerr has... he had a timing window there with his +1 and roach speed, but it doesn't look like he wants to take it for now. He just wants to take his 4th base and make sure that's up and running before he heads out across the map with his roaches. But Ravage is now coming out for him as well, which is going to be really nice. But yeah, the muted timing is going to be quite scary. I mean, EnDerr has so many overlords out on the map right now.
Yeah, he could definitely do a lot of damage with that, but the question is he going to have enough to hold off the roach force of EnDerr? Because he doesn't have all that much gas. Like 5 or 6 mutas is really not going to cut the mustard when it comes to defending against this many roaches if his initial line of roaches falls. So we'll see if EnDerr is even eager to punch up here. It's quite scary to go up a ramp, but the Ravagers make that a little bit easier.
Yeah, trying to pick off an overlord, try and supply block TNK where he can, but he's 40 supply up with this attack, and Ravager's in there to help out. Doesn't quite have the cooldown there to destroy all those overlords, but he does get a couple here. Not quite supply blocking yet, but this is a fight he is going to want to take right now. Ravager's sitting quite tucked behind those roaches there of EnDerr, dealing out a decent amount of damage, and then the corrosive bile, of course, and this is just way too many roaches here from EnDerr, and it looks like this is going to be the end here for game number 1. EnDerr looking to cement his first game in the series.
Yeah, great roach Ravager timing there. TMK, a nice effort with the mutas, trying to catch his opponent off guard here, but it's just not enough. There's too much on the ground here, and these roaches are going to do critical damage by the time they're all cleaned up. He's going to hold on for the time being, evacuating drones, but it really is looking like curtains at this point.
Yeah, the mutas are going to start swinging around onto the map to try and see what damage they can get done, but man, these roaches, 24 workers killed so far. The mutas, some mutas trying to clean up. He's going to lose his 3rd base. It's just not looking good here at all for TMK. Down a 100 supply. And there's more reinforcements coming across the map here for EnDerr.
Yeah. Going for a bit of a fantasy GG timing. And there it is. EnDerr will take game number 1.
Alright, so game 2 is going to be the next interesting one. I didn't see the map put, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I'm kind of interested. Yeah, like I reckon hopefully we see a bit of a 4-player map, and that'll give TMK a bit of room to maybe throw in a bit of a fun strategy to try and catch EnDerr off his greedy play.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to deal with that style. I actually kind of like TMK's idea though. Not investing too much into roach upgrades and trying to sneak into mutas there. Unfortunately, on a map like that, you know, it's a very straightforward A to B path to your opponent's base. So when you've got a mass of roaches coming at you, those mutas kind of can't do much if they're not already out. Even then, you know, they kind of tickle the roaches to death, which makes it a little bit difficult. But we'll see what happens. We're going to be moving into Bridgehead for game number 2. Another map that does lend itself quite nicely to this 3-hatch style for EnDerr, but perhaps a little bit more defendable for TMK if he wants to try that roach into muta sort of strat again.
Yeah, I'd even like to see him go straight into muta this time. Just because the roaches and Ling... I mean, the Ling Bane timing is a little bit scary there from EnDerr, of course, but if he just makes his own little basic Ling Bane while going into mutas, I think the mutas could really do some serious hurt to EnDerr.
Yeah, certainly. This isn't a bad map for mutas. We have seen it pop out a couple of times, more so against the Terrans that have dared to brave this map against a Zerg. But the styles that people are playing, you know, they're still figuring it out. A lot of them are a bit scrappy sort of strategies, but we'll see who ends up pulling out what strat in just a moment as we are in game number 2 on Bridgehead. And on the right-hand side of the map, he is up 1-0 in the series. This is EnDerr.
And on the left-hand side of the map, we have our yellow Zerg. Once again, it is TMK.
Needs a win here, man.
Yep.
Don't want to be hopping into that lower bracket anytime soon.
I mean, it's not an easy ride down there either.
No, it's not. Just while this game's getting started, for those of you just joining us who may have missed the group stages or the qualifiers, the way this tournament's worked is that there are a series of qualifiers, 5 in fact, one for Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, then an open C1. Those fed into the group stage, which went on last week, and now we're in the playoffs. So the top 2 from either groups A and B, have ended up in the upper bracket here, and these are the matches that we're starting off the stream with. And the third placer from both of those groups starts off in the losers bracket, so that is Lobo and Jabito this time around, and they're not pushovers either, so you really want to try and stay up in that winners bracket, of course, as always, if you are able to do so.
Yeah, of course, and man, I'm really looking forward to what I think is going to be the winners bracket final here.
Yeah,
because it's been a match in the making so far this tournament, which my prediction going to be EnDerr versus Blisk, and that is going to be a serious match if we get to see it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's not too far of a stretch to say that most people would have a look at these brackets and go, well, the names I know are EnDerr and Blisk, so I reckon they'll probably end up in the finals, but we'll see, because it is Legacy of the Void. Anything can happen. Don't forget, Demilove is quite an achieved player in there as well, and he can certainly pull some upsets for people thinking of the EnDerr Blisk finals. And, you know, that's not to count out TMK, Lobo, and Jabito either, because they can certainly take maps off these guys. Maybe they can even pull an upset, because we did see some upset games in the group stages last week.
Yeah, in fact we did, and Demilove, just as you were saying before, he is one of those kind of like dark horse players in a tournament, and I mean, I think, yeah, most people would expect EnDerr and Blisk as a favourite, but yeah, definitely Demilove, he's always been one of those ones to catch someone, no matter who they are.
Yeah, time will tell who's going to end up on top here. But so far in this game, on the left-hand side of the map, we can see that TMK has kind of gone for a greedier route himself. He's still seeing that EnDerr's taking that very early hatch, so he's taken his own third hatch a little bit earlier than he did in the first game, trying to catch up on that dream count perhaps. And heading straight into the Roche Warren this time. Also making a few links. We'll see if he uses those to scout or just as maybe a tiny bit of defense if he so wishes it. But yeah, I'm really just, I feel like the ball's in Team K's court to figure out what to do here, because EnDerr seems to have a very one-track mind in ZVZ. Take 3 hatches, drone up, and then go for an attack.
I think if EnDerr is able to kill off this Overlord, he's going to just go for it.
Right, you are, as 20 lings are gonna start popping out just as the Baneling Nest finishes too. Can he get it? Oh,
he's gonna go. Yeah, and that's a lot of lings to come, and he's not really going to be able to see these lings coming across the map. And let's see if this stifles the roach count here of TMK. He does start 1 roach, but he is supply blocked.
It's going to be a long time before he sees these lings too. If EnDerr doesn't go through the vision of that Overlord, he actually won't find out till they arrive. But luckily, they are actually passing straight through the middle. Banelings being morphed just out of range of that Overlord actually, which is a little bit rough for TMK. And he evacuates that third hatchery so quickly here, realizing he's in big trouble.
Yeah, and he's going to get a wraparound on all the units that are out on the field here, and killing roaches and queens early on before this attack is huge for him. And now, oh man, all those drones are coming off the line to fight. It is not a healthy sight here for TMK just yet. Roaches are spawning to try and help the best they can, but EnDerr going to back out, wait for those banelings to see how much maximum damage he can get, and those